This is Valley View News, and these are today's headlines.
Restaurants are swapping plastic for pasta. Plus, a local candy and coffee shop has been serving sweets for generations. And the CSUN community remembers the Armenian genocide.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Scott Gierman.
And I'm Monica Campos. Earth Day demonstrations around the world led to dozens of arrests, and here in Los Angeles, 2 climate change activists allegedly glued themselves to the iconic globe at Universal City. The protesters waved green flags reading "Climate Emergency" on them. The 2 men and 2 of their supporters are now facing felony charges. The group sent NBC Universal a letter asking for, among other things, an end to advertising from fossil fuel corporations.
LA County is making every day Earth Day. Valley View News reporter Monica Villacorta says a straw ban has begun.
AS Sustainability and Recycling, this is Clayton.
The ban on Los Angeles restaurants offering plastic straws is now in effect. It applies to places that have 26 or more workers. But if a customer wants a straw, one can be given. The state law applies only to dine-in restaurants. But Los Angeles expanded the rules to fast food places, coffee shops, and any place serving food.
I think people are just becoming more educated and conscious about the effects that we have on the planet. Everyone has seen the video of the sea turtle with a straw in its nose, so obviously it has a very big emotional impact on people.
A study by the Be Straw Free campaign says 500 million plastic straws are used daily in the U.S. Many are for single use. An estimated 8 million tons of plastic enters the oceans every year. They end up in waterways that ultimately take them to the ocean. Some straws have strangled marine life. This viral video shows a sea turtle with a straw being extracted from its nose. It reignited the conversation about the global plastic waste crisis.
When I go in the dishwasher area, I see a lot of straws that people actually don't use still on the wrapper, that my employees get them and throw them away. And that's not cost effective for me.
Restaurants will get warnings for their first 2 violations. After that, it'll cost $25 for each day of violation. But the fine won't exceed $300. Local police are responsible for enforcing the law.
I just think just leave the original straws, because the paper ones are not even, they're gross. And then the metal ones, I'd be too lazy not bring them. So just leave it as it is, because it's not really making a big deal.
Beginning October 1st, Los Angeles will expand these restrictions to all food and beverage facilities, no matter the employee count. Big companies like Starbucks have already vowed to begin phasing out straws within the next 2 years. I'm Monica Villacorta, reporting from Van Nuys.
CSUN is promoting sustainability this Earth Day. Valley View's Gloria Alas reports on the latest campus-wide efforts to help improve the environment.
Certain days call for reflection. Earth Day is one of them. The fight for a clean environment is increasingly urgent as the damage from climate change becomes more obvious. CSUN's geology and environmental professor Emily Orm says battling climate change starts with individuals.
It begins at home, and it means having a lifestyle where trash is recycled and where we have an awareness of environment.
Orm says living sustainably means being kinder to the planet. Doing so means that the planet will be kinder to people in return. There's a lot that people can do to live sustainably. For example, support organic farming practices and become smarter about recycling. CSUN's outreach coordinator for sustainability, Clayton Scott, says it's an easy lifestyle.
You can start out doing the small things, like you're doing your recycling or just having a little compost garden at home, but scaling up is really what makes it more satisfying, and being able to share what you do with other people.
Emily Orm says being responsible will make things change for the better.
If we basically boil it down into almost sound bites that become part of our daily lives, that's how you make change. You hear the mantra in your head, and that becomes your effective responsibility.
This year, Earth Day is April 22nd, a day to demonstrate and promote environmental awareness. In Northridge, I'm Gloria Alas for Valley View News.
The leader of an armed militia in New Mexico claims his group was training to assassinate Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. The FBI visited Larry Hopkins' home in 2017. Sunland Park Police Chief Javier Guerra says witnesses reported seeing militia members with firearms at the home.
That I didn't want to hear of people complaining or accusations that they were pointing their weapons at innocent, unarmed individuals.
Hopkins was arrested and charged with being a felon in possession of firearms and ammunition stemming from a search in 2017.
The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments in the case of whether the census takers can ask questions about citizenship. The Trump administration wants to add a citizenship question to the 2020 census. The question reads, quote, "Is this person a citizen of the United States?" End quote. Census Bureau research shows the question will discourage households from taking part in the count. Several states and cities have sued in federal court to stop the question, but several judges have made rulings against those lawsuits.
The issue of determining one's citizenship took priority over a constitutional obligation to get this count correct. And it's really critically important that we not do anything, add any question that will undermine that count.
The official census head count starts in January 2020.
Former Los Angeles Lakers head coach Luke Walton is being sued for sexually assaulting a female sports reporter. Kelly Tennant worked for Sportsnet LA and Spectrum Sportsnet as a reporter for the Lakers and the Dodgers. She said Walton asked her to meet her at a hotel room in Santa Monica to drop off a copy of her book. She alleges Walton assaulted her on a bed. Walton, recently hired by the Sacramento Kings, did not comment.
The town of Ojai in Ventura County held an event for Earth Day. Valley View's Claire Hambrick has that story.
The Ojai community hosted its 8th annual Earth Day event, April 20th. This was the second time it was held at Libby Park. It moved here because the celebration has grown in popularity. This year's focus was on community sustainability.
I think the Earth Day Festival is a celebration of our home, and we kind of take it for granted. And so this is one day when we try to appreciate our planet.
There was live music and dozens of booths selling things for young and older people. Groups of children had fun seeing what the inside of a beehive looks like. They learned about how harmless bees really are and how important they are for the environment.
I mean, the earth is this big. It's not going to change. That's it. And we keep putting more and more and more people on it. And the only thing leaving the earth is helium. Everything else just stays here.
Earth Day is a reminder to respect and appreciate the planet. Today's Ojai event had the unique ability to unify the community behind a larger cause.
Local Earth Day events are a great way to learn about sustainability in your community. In Ojai, I'm Claire Hambrick with Valley View News.
For many Marvel fans, the long 11-year wait is over. Eric Gabriel has the story.
Thank you, Scott. Avengers Endgame has finally arrived on the big screen, and the world premiere was so big it had to be held at the LA Convention Center. The star-studded event honored this long-awaited culmination of 22 Marvel films. Star Don Cheadle says the movie, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, is more than 3 hours long.
It's really a testament to when you see how everybody's come and how excited that they are. It's really a testament to Marvel.
Composer Alan Silvestri says the Russo brothers faced many challenges completing the movie.
They were very inspirational and helpful because I couldn't believe what they had to confront. They had to find a way to kind of bring all of these narratives together and in a satisfying way.
Avengers Endgame will open Thursday. Beyoncé is quenching your thirst. Her album Lemonade is on all streaming platforms for the next 3 years. It was originally only available on Tidal, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's streaming service. The re-release comes after the debut of the Netflix special Homecoming, which covered Queen Bee's performances at Coachella last year. Nigerian brothers Abel and Olo Osundero have filed a defamation suit against the Attorneys of Empire star Jussie Smollett. The suit alleges Tina Glandian and Mark Garagos continuously made statements about the brothers leading a homophobic, racist, and violent attack against Smollett, even though the alleged comments were not true.
Make no mistake, they had no role in calling the police, and they had no role in defrauding the police department.
The brothers are seeking punitive damages and lost income in the lawsuit. AOC is going to Netflix. The documentary that follows Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 3 other women during last year's midterms will start streaming next week. Knock Down the House debuted at Sundance earlier this year. Netflix reportedly bought it for $10 million, which would be a record for a documentary bought at the festival. That's all your entertainment news. Back to Scott and Monica.
More to come on Valley View News. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the Sri Lanka bombings.
And the measles epidemic hits LA County.
Let's get the latest in international news.
Here's Louis Zuniga in our Digital Media Center.
Thanks, Monica. More than 320 people were killed and 500 were injured in Sunday's Sri Lankan bomb attacks. 31 victims were not Sri Lankan, but 4 were American. An Islamic terrorist group claimed responsibility. It also revealed the names of the alleged suicide bombers. The attack destroyed 3 churches and 4 hotels. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are set to meet in Russia for the first time, maybe later this week. Putin and Kim's meeting is likely to focus on Kim's nuclear program and on international economic sanctions against North Korea. Kim has met with President Trump twice, but the last meeting collapsed because the two couldn't reach an agreement over North Korea's nuclear weapons. President Trump is going to return to the UK in June. Trump and the First Lady will be the Queen's guests at the 75th anniversary of D-Day. The White House says the trip will maintain the U.S. and UK's relationship. Last time Trump was in the UK, many people protested and promised to do it again. It is unclear if Trump will address Parliament. The new Irish Republican Army has taken responsibility for the death of a journalist in Northern Ireland. Lyra McKee died after being shot during a riot in Londonderry last week. She was hit by a bullet fired at police. 3 people were questioned but later released. The new IRA apologized to McKee's partner, family, and friends for what happened. McKee is believed to be the first journalist killed in the line of work in the UK since 2001. The violence broke out when police entered a Catholic neighborhood looking for arms. The unrest in Venezuela is escalating, with more food and medicine shortages and power disruptions. Healthcare union protesters are asking for international help, with signs reading, "Where are the medicines?" The economic crisis has led to serious shortages of vaccines and increases in treatable diseases like HIV and malaria. Recent nationwide blackouts have left millions without power. One U.S. diplomat says as many as 15 million people may try to leave the country. Millions have reportedly already tried to flee to Colombia, Brazil, Chile, and Peru. 2 earthquakes in 2 days have left at least 16 people dead in the Philippines. A powerful 6.1 earthquake struck a northern island yesterday and killed 11 people. It was followed by a second earthquake today that killed at least 5. That one hit a central island and was measured at 6.3. Authorities say 30 people may still be trapped in rubble. There has been no tsunami warning or immediate reports of damage. This week is the annual commemoration of the 1915 Armenian Holocaust. Here at CSUN, Armenian students construct their own memorial. Valley View's Rico Bruce has more on the story.
1.5 million Armenians were killed during the rule of Turkey's Ottoman Empire. The Holocaust started in 1915. CSUN instructor David Ascolian is Armenian. He says that there have been many movies and books about the Holocaust.
I've seen stories where the way they slaughter them, the way they, walk them, the way they just, near there's a pool of people and they just make them walk to an area and they just, butcher them with guns and everything, and there's pools of blood everywhere. So it just kind of it takes the humanity out of the human.
The Holocaust affected families and students globally. CSUN student Vivan Sai is Indian American. He recalls the stories his Armenian friends have told him about the massacre.
Personally, it makes me feel saddened about the history of the Armenian people, and also, but it also makes me happy that we are remembering this part of history so that we can never repeat it again.
The Armenian Holocaust happened over 100 years ago, and students are still affected by this. CSUN is recognizing this with a memorial service right here on their campus. Reporting from Northridge, California, this is Rico Bruce, Valley View News.
That is all for international news. Back to you in the studio.
Now let's get the latest in health news from Tia Dunbar. Tia?
Thank you, Monica. A program that educates volunteers about disaster preparedness visited a firehouse in Granada Hills to teach residents there how to be prepared. Valley View News reporter Alexandria Marez has more.
A Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERT, is a group of trained civilians from the community.
Education training is...
They respond to emergencies when first responders can't get there right away. Recently, at Firehouse 87 in Granada Hills, CERT taught residents how to make go bags.
The CERT program is alive and well. It's been around since 1985, and a lot of people have been trained and maybe forgot some of those skills, so maybe they need to go back and get a refresher.
Hall says go bags are materials that are put together before an emergency happens. Water, a power source, and food are just some of the items to put into a go bag. Resident Osvaldo Serrano says he didn't know what a go bag was. Now he sees the importance.
Because you never know, an emergency can happen within seconds, and you might have to just leave, and you have to be prepared.
The CERT program is a free 7-week course. Some skills taught are how to use a fire extinguisher and what to do during a power outage. Hall says your neighbor's emergency can become your emergency. CERT gives people the skills to handle tough situations.
Their emergency can soon become your emergency. So you want to get trained and know that your neighbors are trained and your family members are trained.
This Sunday in Sherman Oak, CERT Battalion 10 will be holding meetings on first aid and everyday wounds. For more information, head to cert-la.com. In Granada Hills, I'm Alexandria Matas.
LA County is declaring a measles outbreak after confirming at least 5 cases of infection. Public health officials say a patient arrived at LAX on April 1st carrying the highly contagious virus. People could also have been exposed at UCLA on April 2nd, at the main library at Cal State LA, or at an El Pollo Loco in La Cañada on April 11th. Health officials say El Saúl's Tacos in Glendale on April 13th was another possible exposure site. The CDC has reported 626 cases nationwide since January. People who are not vaccinated and those with weak immune systems are at a higher risk. Anyone who was at these locations in Los Angeles could possibly be infected and should see their doctor. A CSUN program to end sexual violence through education brought in local high-profile guests to talk about toxic masculinity. Valley View News reporter Veronica Barriga has more.
Being a role model displays integrity and respect.
The LA Chargers made a visit to CSUN today, but it wasn't to talk football. Instead, they teamed up with MenCare to talk about masculinity. Rudy Rudernen works for MenCare.
CARE is an acronym that stands for Creating Attitudes for Rape-Free Environments. MenCare's mission is to reduce sexual assault through addressing the norms in masculinity.
Wide receiver Travis Scott and tight end Austin Roberts were seen in a new light by some. They spoke about male stereotypes and societal pressures men face. Roberts says he was taught early on that boys need to act a certain way.
Just suck it up, throw some dirt on it, kind of hold it in. And that's, I've grown up, that's what I've known. And I've learned that that's not the best way to handle things.
Scott says pro athletes have the same fears and anxieties most young men face.
People expect you to, like, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, but they don't understand that you're still human. All it is, you just play a sport. Like, I'm no different than you, you're no different than me.
He also shared some advice a mentor gave.
Actually, like, really visualize how you want to be in life, and you got to go get it. Because it's going to get tough. It ain't easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. But when you get to that point, that breaking point, that's when you got to be at your best.
Gio Valle didn't think he would have anything in common with NFL players, but they proved him wrong.
I got to really connect with them because they talked about the qualities that they have on the field, and it helped us, get a sense that we might not be football players, but we hold the same accountabilities, the same values as men.
Students say the discussion that took place today with the LA Chargers is very timely and necessary. In Northridge, I'm Veronica Barriga for Valley View News.
Target is recalling wooden toys that pose a choking hazard to children. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission ordered the recall of Bullseye's playground wooden toy vehicles. The vehicles range from a Santa's sleigh to a police car. The wheels can come loose and end up in a child's mouth. The Safety Commission says consumers should immediately return the toys to any Target store for a refund. Los Angeles has the largest urban park in America, Griffith Park. It's home to hiking and bike trails, bobcats, rattlesnakes, coyotes, one mountain lion, the Griffith Observatory, and this week, a brand new playground. Valley View reporter Sandy Chavez has that story.
Moms Club of Las Feliz and LA Parks and Recreation opened a new park within Griffith Park. The park is in front of the Greek Theater. The park opening brought many Las Feliz residents to the inauguration.
So we get the kids in.
Councilman David Ryu officiated.
Thank you, everybody.
And he answered an interesting question. Why build a new park within a park?
We are looking in every single neighborhood to create little miniature pocket parks, open space, a green space of any kind. But until we do that, one thing that we have in our resource and available is Griffith Park.
As Councilman David Ryu cut the ribbon, neighborhood children stood by. When it was time, they charged to the playground. The president of Mom Club says the park will bring the community together.
That's what these public spaces are all about, is just bringing different members of the community together to get to know each other and enjoy our public spaces.
This park is the result of the City of Los Angeles and Moms Club uniting to bring more recreation back to the city of Los Feliz. For Valley View News, I'm Sandy Chavez.
People who skip breakfast may be putting their health at risk. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology reports those who never eat in the morning have an 87% higher risk of cardiovascular-related death than those who do. The researchers say this study of more than 6,000 adults is one of the first to prove breakfast has long-term benefits. Researchers did not look at what foods are healthy to eat for breakfast. The World Health Organization says heart disease and stroke are the leading causes of death in the world, with over 15 million deaths in 2016. Back to you guys for more news.
Coming up on Valley View News, Samsung's long-awaited Galaxy Fold is on hold.
Also, a candy store has been satisfying sweet cravings for over 30 years. Stay with us.
Let's go to Luisa Rodriguez with the latest in social media, tech, and business news.
Thank you, Monica. President Trump has criticized Twitter. He tweeted the company was very discriminatory and unfair. He posted in response to Twitter saying its net income for the first 3 months of the year rose on strong ad demands. The app is now letting users view a thread instead of having to tap each individual post. Twitter says it expects more revenue this quarter. The launch of Samsung's first foldable smartphone will be delayed. The Galaxy Fold went viral after its test release last week. Reviewers posted photos of the phone display screen breaking after just 2 days of use. Many of them saying removing the built-in screen protector is what caused the problem. But the Wall Street Journal says the issue is likely due to added pressure from the phone's hinge. Samsung says a new release date will be announced in the next few weeks. Starbucks has competition. Chinese chain Luckin Coffee has 2,300 locations across China and plans to double that by the end of this year. Starbucks doesn't expect to reach that number until 2022. Luckin has been using small booths catering to online orders for deliveries and pickups. It is not clear whether Luckin will open stores in the U.S., but says it's going public and will sell shares on the NASDAQ. Robots are driving the future. Tesla CEO Elon Musk says he expects to start converting many of the company's electric cars into fully self-driving vehicles. He says he wants to create robotic taxis to compete against Uber and other ride-hailing services. Critics say Musk is overpromising. Uber and Lyft are also trying to create driverless vehicles to boost revenue, although there is no ETA. That's it for social media, tech, and business news. Monica and Scott, back to you.
A local candy and coffee shop is in the sweet spot. Valley View News reporter Londi Sagasumi says that the business has been satisfying Simi Valley's sweet tooth for over 30 years.
The smell is unforgettable. The sweet aroma of chocolate and fudge fill Dr. Conky's candy and coffee shop.
It's a happy place to come. The music's incredible, everybody's very friendly, and it starts the day off just right.
By mid-morning, the line is already out the door. Children of all ages are excited looking at the brightly colored boxes and jars of sweets. Besides the candy, customers beg for more of the shop's custom blended drinks.
They have this chai tea latte over there. It's so good. It's like this frozen little mix. It's so nice. It tastes delicious. I'm in love with it.
Dr. Conky's has been around since 1986. Customers say the store is a staple of the community.
We've been here since 1962, so when this store opened, it was really important to us. It has sugar-free candy because my husband's diabetic, which is really great.
With a variety of blended drinks, coffee, homemade fudge, and candy, Dr. Conky's is one of Southern California's iconic sweet spots. I'm Londi Sagasumi in Simi Valley for Valley View News.
A man in Wisconsin is saying goodbye to his 9-to-5 after winning last month's $768 million Powerball jackpot. Manuel Franco says he's been buying Powerball tickets since he was 18. Lottery officials say Franco will walk away with more than $300 million. The jackpot was the third largest in U.S. history.
That's all for us at Valley View News. Thank you for watching. I'm Monica Campos.
And I'm Scott Gierman. For news any time of the day, go to our website, sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.